Hi everyone, thank you for attending our MIDAS MeshFree webinar today. I am Agnes Chin from MIDAS IT. I will be with you during this webinar. Let me now introduce MIDAS MeshFree. The webinar will be conducted in the following order. First, introduction of MIDAS MeshFree's concept and basic algorithm. Second is main features and analysis types. Third, benefits, verification, and application of MIDAS MeshFree. But before starting the webinar, let me introduce MIDAS IT, the company behind MIDAS MeshFree. MIDAS IT is a simulation software development and distribution company. With our software, you can simulate the world around you. Our CAE simulation software allows you to simulate the behavior of objects, while our human simulation software can be used in human research and medical services. MIDAS IT is presented with those three titles in Korea. First of all, since we started as a CAE software development and distribution company in the civil engineering field, we have ranked as the #1 market share holder worldwide. Also, MIDAS IT is known for our special management philosophy, naturalistic humanism. In 2016, we were selected as the best company to work for in one of the major newspapers in Korea. MIDAS software simulation technology is aimed to mathematically model the phenomena in nature, solve differential equations through the numerical analysis, display optimal design results with the computer graphics. Recently, we also introduced AI, big data, and web mobile technology into our services. In MIDAS, we believe in promoting the world happiness through our simulation technology and software. With our technology, we simulate buildings, bridges, tunnels, and manufacturing machines and objects in both civil and mechanical industries. We also simulate human behavior through our medical, healthcare system and our HR management system. You may think engineering and medical or human resource management services to be very different. However, human beings are a part of nature, so it must be possible to study humanity with our simulation technology. As you can see in this slide, the world's highest, longest, majestic historical projects all were analyzed and designed with MIDAS software. In the civil engineering CAE market, MIDAS projects hold the highest market share in Asia region. We distribute our software through 9 branch offices and 35 partners offices in more than 110 countries. Now I will introduce our brand new CAE solution, MIDAS MeshFree. It is a cutting-edge design and analysis technology developed in collaboration with Samsung Electronics. Every single part of the software was planned and developed completely by MIDAS from the beginning stages, with the ultimate goal of completely eliminating the limitation and inefficiencies of traditional CAE. If you have MIDAS MeshFree, you can simulate and analyze your original model directly without the need for any modifications. MeshFree provides the opportunity of validating your design through quick, easy, and accurate analysis at the reach of everyone, regardless of expertise. Let's now watch a brief introduction to MIDAS MeshFree.
Every analysis starts with mesh. Traditional CAE using mesh requires time-consuming process for simplification and cleanup process of complex geometry. Also, if the design is modified, you will have to go through the whole process again. Is there a more innovative way beyond the limitation of mesh? Here, we would like to introduce a brand new CAE design tool, MIDAS MeshFree. It is developed by CAE development specialist MIDAS IT. MeshFree generates grid mesh, which does not require any simplification and cleanup process. MeshFree minimizes the analysis process into 3 simple steps. First, import 3D CAD file directly. MeshFree is compatible with all commercial CAD files. It automatically defines the material properties and contact conditions during an import. Second, specify constraints and load conditions. Enter the constraint on the part to be fixed, and enter the load condition in the area where the load should be applied. Third, perform the analysis. Once the calculation is executed, the grid is automatically applied to each part to perform the analysis. Analysis can be performed immediately when the design is modified.
Many mechanical engineers have used FEM-based CA software. What is the main reason for using FEM-based software? The main reason is its capability to analyze shapes of the complicated geometry through various methods of mesh generation. The main reason is like that. But let's talk about what inconveniences you have with FEM software. I'm sure the main inconvenience that comes to mind to many of you is the large amount of time and manual effort for complex geometries and equations bring to this process. The existing FEM process doesn't support performing analysis directly from the imported CAD file. Simplification and cleanup of the CAD file must be performed before analysis in this process. Also, those steps cannot be auto-processed perfectly in the existing software. So many of these things have to be handled manually. Once you are done translating the model into the CA software, do you think you can finally analyze it? Unfortunately, no. Mesh generation is left. Only after meshing, you can finally perform the analysis. Plus, analysis result can be totally different depending on the quality of the mesh, so mesh must be generated very carefully. Although there are some programs in the market that support automatic mesh generation, they are not yet able to provide a good success rate. To sum it all up, the main limitation of existing CA software is meshing. However, MIDAS MeshFree is different from them. It's possible to perform the analysis fast because MIDAS MeshFree automatically generates structural grid regardless of the complexity of the geometry. As you can see, despite the complexity of the shape, which includes the screws and the bolt head, if you have only 3-dimensional CAD model, You can run the analysis immediately by one-clicking without any additional cleanup or mesh generation procedures. That is, MIDAS MeshFree provides a new process that overcomes the limitation of meshing. Now I will introduce MIDAS MeshFree's analysis algorithm and compare it to other methods. There are three main methods. 1. Traditional FEM methods which most of us have used. 2. General meshless methods. 3. The newly developed MIDAS MeshFree methods. First, FEM. It's a universal analysis method that supports most of analysis type. However, mesh generation is mandatory, and simplification and cleanup are required before that. In a few words, there is mesh quality problems and limitations to automating the process. Therefore, it's not very suitable for entry-level analysis engineers and design engineers. Second, general mesh methods. It does not generate a mesh, but distributes nodes in the analysis area instead. It calculates deformation, including those nodes. So, analysis result is still dependent on node distribution. This analysis result will be accurate in the area nodes are well distributed, but there is high probability that the result is not accurate in area with no nodes. Furthermore, results can be different depending on the coupling methods used. Check this picture. As the picture shows, the nodes should be coupled in vertical direction. However, they are coupled horizontally due to their relatively close distance, so the result becomes very steep. Therefore, general meshless methods is appropriate for bulk models, but not suitable for thin plate and curved models where nodes can't be distributed well. Thirdly, MIDAS MeshFree methods uses an algorithm developed by combination of previous two methods. It performs analysis by generating not conforming mesh, but background grid mesh. To explain in more detail, it creates background grid in the area where the analysis model is. If an area completely fills up a grid, is calculated by using the same formula as the existing FEM. But for areas which fill the grids partially, like this, MeshFree analyzes them by using the existing FEM and separately processing this area in the integration for the area volume. The main features of MeshFree's algorithm is a method for processing boundary conditions in all areas. In existing FEM, it's difficult to create a mesh because load boundary conditions can be applied on nodes. However, MIDAS MeshFree used both the existing FEM methods and also a special function called the function. For any area. This way, it's possible to exactly analyze any areas regardless of whether there are nodes in its boundary or not. Therefore, MIDAS MeshFree is new solution software that maintains accuracy and stability of analysis while ensuring user convenience by applying the existing FEM framework together with the diff function. You can see here comparison of analysis results from FEM and MeshFree methods. Could you see the working time? The working time when you using MIDAS MeshFree is a quarter of working time when using FEM. And the results are very similar. With difference rate is less than 4%. Please imagine how much cost, time, and human resource will be saved when performed analysis on large-scale model with MIDAS MeshFree. Next, I will show how analysis is easily performed with only three-step process. First, learn MeshFree and then select linear static analysis. Second, import 3D CAD file. When it is imported, the material properties defined in CAD file automatically input. So what you have to do are only define constraint conditions on the four corners, and then put load conditions as concentrated load in vertical direction. Then click Run Analysis. MIDAS MeshFree performs analysis and then provides the result by itself. As you are seeing, even though it has complicated geometry, MIDAS MeshFree complete analysis in only three-step process and by using the original file without any modification. Let me show you the best workflow using MIDAS MeshFree. Import CAD file, applied loads and boundary conditions directly on the CAD, run analysis. Then software generates automatically a mesh, perform the analysis, and provides the visual result with MeshFree server. And if you decide to change the design, the modification can be easily input into the workflow under the same load and boundary conditions, so you don't need to repeat the entire process. How is that? Easy? In this chapter, I will introduce program's main features and supported analysis type. The first feature of MIDAS MeshFree is simple three-step process. Please let me explain some point quickly because the three-step process was mentioned a lot before. So in the first step, import CAD. Cleanup is necessary and material properties which are defined in the CAD file are applied automatically to MeshFree analysis model. And then after user input load and boundary conditions, the software generates mesh automatically and performed the analysis by itself, and then provide you post-processing result by using volume rendering. The second feature of MIDAS MeshFree is powerful adaptability to design modifications. When you change the design, it automatically recognizes and updates the modifications into the model. It also automatically reflects the constraint and load conditions already set for the analysis. Thus, you don't need to manually revise the modification or reset the boundary conditions. That is, it is possible to analyze a model while also importing it. The third feature of MIDAS MeshFree is intuitive UI. The interface shows you only the functions and guidelines required by each analysis type. So it is very easy and intuitive for even entry-level users to set the conditions. When you start the program, you just select the desired analysis type from the analysis type template. For example, if you select linear static analysis, the program will only provide the available load and boundary conditions for linear static analysis. So you do not have to go back and forth to figuring out what conditions are appropriate as you would with other software, analysis software. Only the function required for the analysis you selected are provided as options. In case of modal analysis, the load conditions are not necessary, so only boundary conditions are provided. In case of heat transfer, we'll only provide conditions required for thermal analysis, such as conduction, convection, radiation, but not load and constraint. CAE software in the mechanical engineering field is not used every day, but rather used once or twice a month. On the other hand, MIDAS MeshFree's UI was developed so that users are enticed to use its intuitive features every day. The first main feature is a function for checking post-process analysis results. Naturally, many engineers have doubts about the obtained result after analysis, like, did I perform analysis in a proper way? Or can I believe the result is accurate? For that, MIDAS MeshFree provides tables of the strain error density through the use of energy error analysis. Basically, analysis results will be reliable enough if the total error percentage is under 10 to 15%. If the total error rate is too high, you can find in which part this error occurred by checking the percentage of error per part. Also, in the post-process stage, you can see the graphic representations of the result on the background grid used for the analysis. In addition, you can control grid size manually if grid size revision is required because the error rate is too high. So far, I have introduced the main features of MIDAS MeshFree. So from now on, I will show you what models and analysis type are supported by it and different applications where they can be used. The first, linear static analysis. The gear housing, a problem very familiar to analysis engineers and even for design engineers too, is presented here. It's a case having many thin and long sliver faces due to its complicated nerve patches and fillets. So if you are using traditional CAE software, you would have to reorganize nerves and sliver face first in order to generate mesh on this model. However, in MIDAS MeshFree, you can obtain analysis result by only importing the CAD file directly and then running the analysis. And this is bicycle frame model. It was quite difficult to generate mesh because the joint parts are pretty thin and they are connected by a curved face. But you can see the result by direct analysis in MIDAS MeshFree too. For modal analysis, The model of the end block is used as an example. This is a large to medium-sized assembly model having 140 parts. A model of this size and complexity requires a long time to analyze in traditional software. But in MIDAS MeshFree, it takes only 15 minutes and is performed on the whole assembly without the need for any additional processes. Can you believe the entire process from the beginning to the end of the model analysis was finished within 15 minutes? Compared to existing NAFEM programs, this is a great example of how the analysis procedure and time can be notably improved by using MIDAS MeshFree. Next is heat transfer analysis. As you can see, conduction, convection, and radiation phenomena all are supported. MIDAS MeshFree also supports heat transfer analysis for assemblies. Both steady-state heat transfer and transient heat transfer are supported. Furthermore, even if there are lots of logo on the CAD file, like this, you do not have to remove it. You can use the original CAD with the logo as it is for the analysis. The model on right may seem simple, but it has a lot of hemispheres. So when you generate a mesh, the number of elements must be large to account for all the curved surface. In MeshFree, you do not need to generate anything manually. Just run analysis with the hemispheres as it is. So we support not only heat transfer analysis, but also thermal deformation, stress analysis, providing the most accurate results. And fatigue analysis. This is a model of a cart where many thin and wrong parts are intricately connected. So import the CAD file, define the load and boundary condition, and then perform the linear static analysis. And from the result linear static analysis, fatigue analysis performed. As a result, we can see that life cycle is the lowest in encircled part when the cart locks back and forth continuously. We support pre-stress and buckling analysis too. This is comparison of MeshFree result with FEM result regarding pre-stress modal analysis and buckling analysis. I mentioned before that the Messerly's method brings a bit lower accuracy in case of a thin plate model like this. However, when we check the accuracy for thin plate model in MIDAS MeshFree by comparing the result with traditional FEM method, high accuracy is shown like this. The next is topology analysis. One of the reasons we distribute MeshFree is to allow engineers in practical fields to efficiently utilize CAE to find the optimal design. Thus, we implemented design optimization into the software. Topology optimization is the process of finding the most economical design while meeting the required conditions. In other words, for lightweight, we find parts that can be get rid of and improve design by doing so. Like this. Check floor of load, find the essential parts where load is prominent, and then eliminate some of those parts that are not essential. Plus, we provide various practical functions from symmetry conditions to manufacturing conditions forecasting. In addition, linear dynamic analysis were developed and verified as well, so that they are supported in MIDAS MeshFree. So, such as transient response analysis. You can see the two cases of the analysis type, and frequency response analysis, random vibration analysis, and even response spectrum analysis. So overall, I introduced the main analysis types supported in MIDAS MeshFree. And this slide, I'd like to show you which analyses are supported in each version. The first, in standard version, static, linear static, modal, fatigue, heat transfer, thermal stress, and topology analysis are supported. In advanced version, transient response, frequency response, random vibration, response spectrum analysis are supported as a linear dynamic analysis. And also, general contact and material linear analysis for elastoplastic material model supported for now for non-linear analysis. Now, what are you most concerned about when you use new software or you introduce it to your work? I think maybe like this. Can I trust this software, or is the software verified? So I prepared detailed verifications in order to set you free from all your concerns about MIDAS MeshFree. First, a convergence characteristic test. This is intended to show that results are converging more and more when reducing mesh grid size, and that is happen so with FM result as well. And as the slide shows, you can see the result from MIDAS MeshFree and traditional FEM are pretty much the same. Basically, MIDAS MeshFree performed analysis based on the FEM methods. Therefore, the more you use compacted grid size, the more reliable your result will be. The second verification is conducted by using benchmark program models provided by NAFEMs. We performed unit model verification regarding twist curved model, nonlinear materials, general deformation, stress, structural analysis, even to thermal analysis. So as a result, we checked that MIDAS MeshFree provides highly accurate results if you compare them to the reference value and FM results as the table. I brought only 2 cases from the verifications, but if you want to see the rest of them, you can check them in our official MIDAS MeshFree website. The third verification is about simple part assembly in real field. We compare the results to existing FEM results regarding thin surface model. First, we performed modal analysis in order to check that the stiffness and mass are accurately calculated. And next, we performed structure analysis in order to verify that not only displacement but also the stress are calculated accurately. As you can see, the results are very similar, and the difference is so slight as much as it can be ignored. Regarding thermal analysis, we found that it provides almost the same level of the accuracy as FEM. By comparing the temperature result derived from a few practical models. Furthermore, not only we, but also Samsung Electronics performed a practical verification for 3 years before MIDAS MeshFree was officially launched in Korea. There are some models of the verifications. We checked the similarity of the results between FEM and MeshFree for multi-curved practical models. Check this slide. Same for long and curved thin models as well. From now, I would like to show you practical verification samples which were sent by some of our clients. These are verification materials that clients analyzed. He compared the result obtained with those using the existing FEM software. Is MIDAS NFX. You can see that the results are almost the same, and that error rate is only 2 to 3%. Above these modal analysis cases, frequency response analysis cases, and even random vibration analysis. So we can say that MeshFree provides you very reliable results with the error rate under 5%. In conclusion, 1. NAFEM's benchmark programs test. 2. Practical verifications by industrial partners. 3. For now, MIDAS MeshFree is currently distributed to 150 companies at least. So the clients constantly send verifications and feedback. So this way, we MIDAS IT continuously verified and improved our software, MIDAS MeshFree. Finally, we arrived at the last topic. How can you apply MIDAS MeshFree to your work? Actually, if cleanup and mesh generations are eliminated, the processing time can be reduced by 60%, and the analysis is successful 100% of the times. Then what can you do with the saved time? You can check the origin of the error and why they occurred, modify the model, and run analysis multiple times in order to obtain better results. Also, you have to learn the software at least for 3 months if you want to use traditional FEM-based software. However, 1 to 2 weeks is more than enough time to learn how to use MIDAS MeshFree. That means that it is possible to apply it to your practical work faster because the learning time is shorter. So the thing you remember is that with MIDAS MeshFree, you can start simulating and analyzing right now, even on a complex model like this. And what worries practical engineers the most is 1. How to reduce cleanup and mesh generation process time. 2. How to analyze models which aren't supported by existing analysis methods. As I mentioned, you can perform analysis many times and at the same time reduce the time spent analyzing due to the processes eliminating when using MIDAS MeshFree. Normally, can you see the model images? It takes a month to analyze this kind of model. However, you can obtain accurate results to determine the final design in a week if you use MIDAS MeshFree. In other words, it's possible to verify models with MIDAS MeshFree at least 3-4 times in the same time that it takes traditional FEM to verify it once. Therefore, you can find the program in advance through iterative analysis and simulation and easily modify the design and obtain the optimal design faster and more efficiently if you use MIDAS MeshFree. And there are over 150 companies introducing MIDAS MeshFree and getting the benefits for their business. So far, I introduced all of MIDAS MeshFree. So I would like to summarize it all in 6 points, and then we will be ending this webinar. We provide MIDAS MeshFree so that you can get innovative experiences of work process, even though you may not have professional experience on analysis. You can learn and use the software easily with its 3-step process and intuitive UI. You can easily improve the design and find its optimal design by automatically updating modifications. And with all those features, you can save time and cost when performing simulation. Also, we provide technical support for 24 hours for 365 days. So if you want to get information, general information about MIDAS MeshFree, you can visit our official website. And if you have technical queries, you can use Global Technical Support website. And for the quick and simple question, you can ask that to us via Skype or chat. And we will keep updating technical articles and interesting news in mechanical engineering field. So you can check those news and article on LinkedIn page and LinkedIn page. Lastly, we provide MIDAS MeshFree core features for free in freeware, and advanced features are also provided with only the cost of maintenance. We hope that, sincerely hope that small and medium-sized companies around the world will be able to use the CAE program as much as possible without stressing about the cost. So let's feel free to try MIDAS MeshFree right now. Thank you for listening our webinar. And there are two things left, announcement of event winners and Q&A session. Once again, thank you for your attending and listening our webinar. And we are opening the applications in MIDAS MeshFree Share event for last week, and many users took part in it. We appreciate a lot for your participations. And now I announce the winner. Winner is, congratulations, Jenna Michael from Malaysia. We will contact you separately for sending a gift. And the Q&A session started. So please ask anything you want to know about MIDAS MeshFree.